The film opens in the ocean, featuring the Russian submarine Sevastopol, which is transporting a highly dangerous computer device beneath the waves. Access to this device requires a unique cross-shaped key that is divided into two parts. The submarine's crew detects what seems to be an enemy submarine nearby, which launches a torpedo at them. In response, they fire their own torpedoes, only to be astonished when both the enemy submarine and their torpedoes vanish as if they never existed. The crew's torpedo then returns towards them, resulting in the destruction of their submarine and the loss of the entire crew. Subsequently, Ethan Hunt is approached by a novice IMF agent, who presents him with his new mission log disguised as a food delivery worker. This mission is directly from IMF Director Eugene Kittredge, who informs Ethan about the key and its potential for catastrophic use. Kittredge also reveals that Ilsa Faust appears to have gone rogue and possesses one half of the key, with a $50 million bounty on her head. He further mentions that the mission involves someone from Ethan's past, the individual who motivated him to join the IMF. Ethan travels to the Namibian desert, where Ilsa is in hiding. He signals his presence to her just as a group of mercenaries begins to chase him on horseback through a sandstorm. The mercenaries track Ethan to Ilsa's location, where the two of them engage in a gunfight to fend them off, until it seems that Ilsa has been mortally wounded. Ethan convenes with Benji Dunn and Luther Stickle to strategize regarding the entity and devise a plan to apprehend those accountable for it. They discover that a buyer is attempting to acquire the key at an airport in Abu Dhabi. Concurrently, an agent from the community, Jasper Briggs, along with his associate Degas, is pursuing Ethan. The IMF trio arrives at the airport to execute their mission. With assistance from Benji and Luther, Ethan successfully deceives Jasper into targeting the wrong individuals by manipulating their video surveillance. Ethan subsequently follows a woman named Grace, who has stolen the other half of the key. He catches up with her and compels her to remain with him after they learn that the buyer has been killed by a mysterious assassin known as Paris. They attempt to evade Jasper and his team while Benji observes a suspicious item being sent to the luggage department. Luther aids him in tracking it down, revealing it to be a bomb that can only be disarmed by solving riddles or answering personal questions, and it detects when Benji is being dishonest. It even leaves a mocking message for Benji. "You are done." When Benji becomes stuck on the final question with mere seconds remaining, he glances at the bottom and realizes the code is meant to spell good luck, only to discover that it was empty all along. Ethan then loses sight of Grace after spotting a mysterious figure known only as Gabriel, who seemingly disappears into thin air. Jasper and Degas subsequently locate Ethan and pursue him through the airport, but he manages to escape. After encountering Gabriel, Ethan informs Luther and Benji that they are aborting the mission. Ethan follows Grace to Rome, where she is arrested by law enforcement with multiple counterfeit passports and identities sought worldwide for various theft-related crimes. Disguising himself as her attorney, Ethan discovers that Grace was contracted by an unidentified third party to obtain the key half. As Ethan attempts to escape, Grace manages to elude him. They are subsequently pursued by Paris, who is accompanied by the authorities. A pursuit unfolds throughout Rome, compelling Ethan and Grace to locate a secure IMF vehicle, yet Paris successfully tracks their movements. After a series of evasive actions, Grace once again escapes from Ethan. He reunites with Benji, Luther, and Ilsa to discuss the entity and Gabriel. Prior to joining the IMF, Gabriel had murdered a woman named Marie, who was close to Ethan. They plan to attend a gathering in Venice where Gabriel is expected to appear. At the event, Gabriel locates Grace and takes her to Alana Mitsopoulos, also known as the White Widow. Ethan and Ilsa find them, discovering that Alana possesses the other key half and was the one who enlisted Grace to retrieve the missing piece. Gabriel extols the entity, revealing that Alana understands the necessity of delivering the key to it. The entity appears to possess omniscience, foreseeing multiple potential outcomes. Gabriel ominously declares that either Grace or Ilsa will perish before the key is handed over. Despite Ethan's attempts to dissuade her from collaborating with the antagonist, Alana remains resolute in her choice. The group disperses as Grace flees through the streets, only to be intercepted by Gabriel near the canal. Ethan rushes towards her, but the entity impersonates Benji to mislead him. He encounters Paris, who confronts him in combat and is ultimately defeated, yet Ethan opts to spare her life. Ilsa arrives and engages Gabriel in a struggle, which culminates in him fatally wounding her. Ethan arrives too late to save Ilsa. Grace joins Ethan, Benji, and Luther, feeling guilt over Ilsa's demise, but Luther reassures her that she is not at fault. Ethan vows to safeguard Grace while Luther departs to a secluded area to erase any evidence of the entity from his hard drive. He advises Ethan against killing Gabriel, as he is the sole individual aware of the entity's intentions for the key. The revised strategy involves following Alana, who is scheduled to meet a buyer for the key aboard the Orient Express. Benji creates a mask for Grace to impersonate Alana, but when he attempts to craft a mask for Ethan to play her brother, the mask-making device malfunctions, compelling Ethan to devise an alternative method to board the train. Once on the train, Gabriel and Paris arrive and murder the conductor, propelling the train to its highest speed. Ethan, on a motorcycle, seeks an optimal moment to leap onto the train. Grace incapacitates Alana and takes her place. Concurrently, Gabriel and Paris confront Denlinger, who wishes to ally with the entity. He discusses the Sevastopol, which was experimenting with its stealth capabilities through the entity's network but ended up seizing control and tricking the submarine into self-destruction. When Denlinger claims to know the submarine's whereabouts, Gabriel slits his throat and prepares to eliminate Paris, accusing her of future betrayal. He stabs her and escapes. Ethan misses his chance to board the train via motorcycle, necessitating a parachute jump from a cliff with precise timing for his landing. Grace then encounters the key's buyer, who is revealed to be Kittredge. Although she contemplates accepting money as compensation, she feels as though she would be selling her soul and declines the offer. She pickpockets the key, but her disguise is soon compromised when the genuine Alana regains consciousness. Gabriel's henchmen attempt to pursue Grace, but Ethan crashes through the window just in time. Ethan pursues Gabriel, while Jasper and Degas are also aboard the train in pursuit. Grace moves to the front in an attempt to halt the train's progress. Following an intense struggle, Jasper and Degas manage to corner Ethan before he can harm Gabriel, enabling Gabriel to leap from the train. Subsequently, Gabriel activates a timer for explosives set to detonate the approaching bridge. Ethan and Grace detach the front car as the agents work to ensure the safety of all passengers. The bridge explodes, forcing Ethan and Grace to navigate through several collapsing train cars. Just as they are about to fall, Paris intervenes to save them. Before losing consciousness, she references the Sevastopol and wishes Ethan well. Ethan then escapes using a parachute, evading capture by Jasper and Degas. Grace subsequently encounters Kittredge and expresses her desire to join the IMF. Gabriel, initially pleased with his triumph, soon realizes that Ethan has swapped the key he took from Grace for a lighter, prompting him to scream Ethan's name in frustration. Ethan reunites with Benji, who now holds the key. Kittredge's voice is then heard, informing Ethan that his next mission is to locate the Sevastopol and save the world, while also wishing him good luck.